Hi YouTube, welcome back to another video. This is another pickups video and I've got a lot of great games to show you guys. Some top Nintendo stuff. Yeah, great stuff to show you guys. But before I get into any of that, just quickly want to point out, as you can see, new surroundings. Basically, this is just another part of my room, the part that you don't normally see. Where I normally sit, where you see the flag behind me, is actually situated over there. I will do maybe a room tour at some point, but I just thought, show my collection a little bit. I've got my window here to the other side, so a little bit of light in. I've got the light on as well, just to bring in some extra light. Yeah, so a lot of great games. A lot of great additions to my Super Nintendo collection, and various bits and pieces for other systems as well. But before I get into all the game stuff, I do want to show 3 more additions to my Blu-ray Steelbook collection. 3 really awesome films here that I've just added. It's just nice to sort of pick up the odd film, because I really do love my films. And just to get certain old films in steelbook form, for me, I'm really happy, especially with these 3 in particular, because they're 3 of my favourite films. So I'm really happy to get these into steelbook format. First one I have here is the original Tim Burton Batman. Very nice steelbook. I also got Batman Returns, which is another awesome steelbook. And lastly, I've got easily one of my top 10 films. I absolutely love this film. So I missed out on this steelbook initially. I actually passed on it because at the time I just wasn't sure I was going to get it. But then when I decided I did want to have it, it sort of really rose in price. But it recently came down to a much more manageable price. It still was a bit more than it was when it initially came out, but I'm very happy to get it anyway. And that is RoboCop. Love this film. I'll show you a bit of the back there as well. Brilliant film. So I'm really happy to get this as a steelbook. Now moving on to the games. Let's see, where should we start? Let's start with Megadrive. Picked up one game here for the Megadrive, but this is a Japanese title. It's a fantastic game. It was, I'm done pretty much with the PAL set, not really picking up any more PAL Megadrive games, but I am sort of on the hunt for a few Japanese games, mainly sort of Japanese exclusives or ones that just never got European release, but of course that I'm into. And this is one game that was definitely very high on my list, but unfortunately I'm slightly disappointed with it. But I'll get to that in a minute. The game I got is there's no English title to this, but it's Yu Yu Hakusho. It's the one that was developed by Treasure, and what this game is, it is a 2D one-on-one fighter. It's the only game that was developed by Treasure for the Mega Drive that did not get a Western release. And I've yet to play it, but it is boxed and complete. It is in very nice condition. The only issue I have with it though is that the front of the box and the side is quite faded. At least that's how it appears to me. Based on the pictures that I've seen of other boxes of the game, it seems quite faded at the front and the side, which is a right shame, because aside from the sun fade, it's in very nice condition. The inside, I'd go as far as to say it's mint, which is a real shame. But because this is a side collection and not part of my main Mega Drive set, these faults I'm willing to let slide. But it was my own mistake, because I bought this on eBay, and the picture was a stock photo, which when you're sort of paying for these sorts of games, it really is worth making sure that they have actual proper photos. And believe it or not, I actually bought 2 games off this seller. Now, neither of them were in any particularly really bad condition, but just not in the condition that you would expect when you pay for such games. But I'm, in any case, really happy to get this into the collection, because I've yet to play it though, but from what I hear, this is a fantastic game. And, you know, it's treasure. I mean, they have yet to make a bad game, in my opinion. Barring, of course, the PlayStation 2 game, what was it called? Freak Out. Yeah, I didn't like that one. But in terms of the 16-bit era, they could do no wrong. So that's that. The next one I have here, this is a Game Boy title. And it's one that I've had as a loose cart. But I just wanted to get it boxed because I'm just a big fan of this series. There's 3 games in this series. And unfortunately, they're all pretty sought after, so they tend to be quite expensive, especially on the NES and the Super Nintendo. The game I got is the Game Boy game, and that is fully boxed and complete, and is in mint condition. And that game is Gargoyle's Quest. Very happy to get this game. It's a brilliant game, and if I just show you the sides. It is in like new condition. I mean, it is. I mean, it feels like it's brand new, like it's just been opened. Really happy to get this game boxed to complete. I'm thinking about trying to get Gargoyle's Quest 2 for the Game Boy, which was a Japanese exclusive. There is Gargoyle's Quest 2 on the NES, but I don't have an NES, so I don't know if I'll get that. But I might get the Japanese import of Gargoyle's Quest 2, and I already have a cart and manual of Demon's Crest on the Super Nintendo. I would love to get it boxed, but it's just far too expensive for me. So just very happy in any case to get Gargoyle's Quest. And the rest here are all Super Nintendo stuff. So before I get into the games, actually no, I'll start with the one import title that I got here, Super Famicom title. For those that remember in my last pickups video, I picked up a Super Nintendo converter. So I've been sort of slowly buying a few Super Famicom games. I've got a couple on the way, but this one I got here, this was a must-have for me. In fact, this was the game that spurred me to get the SNES converter, because this is a game that was never released in the West. And it's a shoot 'em up. It's a horizontal shoot 'em up, and it's from a series that I'm actually a big fan of. It's based on the Macross Robotech series, and it's called. Unfortunately, there's no English title here, but this is Macross Scramble of the Valkyrie, and it's a horizontal shooter. And what's really great about this game is that you control the Veritech fighter, which is basically like a typical sort of jet fighter that can transform in 3 modes. So you've got the regular sort of jet mode, and he also turns into a big robot, and he also turns into like something in between, which is like what they refer to as the Guardian mode. And each mode has different sort of firing mechanics, and is, for example, the jet fighter is a lot more faster, more maneuverable, but has more of a weaker shot, whereas the robot is slower but has the more powerful shot. And it's a brilliant game, really great music. I'm very happy to get this game. This was also bought by from the same seller that I got Yu Yu Hakusho, and it is in good condition, but the cartridge is a bit yellow, and the plastic insert which holds the cartridge is a little bit cracked, and that was not the description that I was led to believe when I bought the game. And again, this was using a stock photo, so I've learned my lesson. But again, it's not in the worst condition. It's in perfectly fine condition. It's in good condition, but it's just not in the condition that I was led to believe. And that's the issue that I take. It's not so much that it's like, you know, completely shit, fucked up or whatever. But it's just I just don't like when I'm led to believe that it's something and it turns out to be something not up to what they say. That's all that bothers me. But otherwise, brilliant game. So the next couple of games here, I'm going to start with these two items because again, these were bought from the same seller. This is a UK seller, and I actually had a bit of a problem. It is one of those times. I was going to make a separate video about this. It was going to be another eBay rant, but I just decided not to in the end because in the end it worked out to my favour. But I'll bring it up here anyway. The first item I got here is a boxed Super Nintendo player, and insert wise it's very nice. It's got it's fully got the plastic bag, all the leaflets, everything is in here. But the only issue I had with this was that the box here is damaged, which was, there was no mention of that. There was no, it's missing one of these on the other side. No mention of that in the description. I was led to believe that it was in much better condition, and because of that I actually paid a little bit more than I would have had I known what the condition of this was. But I never got, I did complain to the seller, but I never got round to talking about this because he basically accused me with regards to another item that I bought off him that wasn't this. So I never got round to this because I was too busy arguing with him about this other item. So moving on from this quickly, the next game I got from him was Super R-Type. The box is in really nice nick. It's in very nice nick. The manual is in excellent condition, but the cartridge was written on it on the top, and which is not a problem. I don't mind that because I can remove that very easily with alcohol. But underneath that, it was a bit yellowed and it was very stained, and it had some sort of sticky residue on it, and it really pissed me off. I contacted the seller because he basically had stated that this was in very good condition to near mint. I'm happy with the manual. It even came with the box protector, but this is what pissed me off. I basically contacted him just to sort of say, look mate, you know, the cartridge is off. The manual's fine, the box is fine, but the cartridge is not how you described it. And what I was looking for would have been about maybe £5 as a partial refund to cover the cartridge. But the seller came back at me very rudely, and he just sort of said, well, you know, this is my feedback, because he had very good feedback. So he just sort of threw the feedback in my face quite abruptly, and just sort of said, asked me to send him some photos. Now I'd already removed the marker from the cartridge, and I explained that to him in the message. I said to him that I received it, it was written on it, and I removed it, but underneath, and this issue was quite yellow on the top, and it was stained. I didn't really like that. And so he asked to send him pictures, which I did. I took some pictures, I sent it to him, and he came back at me saying, and this is what really pissed me off. He actually said that wasn't his game, that it was not his game. He wouldn't even accept that it had writing on it. He kept saying to me that was not the game, that I had swapped it out, and blah blah blah, and I was just flipped. From when I heard that, when he started denying that it was his game, I just flipped out on him. And it is probably the one and only time in the years I've ever used YouTube, well, not YouTube, I've ever used eBay, where I've actually had to swear at the seller. Because he kept trying to call me a liar, and that I was trying to con him out of his money. And this is before I'd even had a chance to say anything about money and what I wanted. So he didn't know anything about me wanting a partial refund. He just assumed that I wanted my money back completely, that I wanted a full refund. And that was not the case. And we went back and forth. He called me a liar, called me an arsehole, all this and that. So I eventually just ended up giving him negative feedback. Not because of the game itself. The cartridge can easily be replaced, but simply because of the way he spoke. and the way he just sort of insinuated that I was trying to con him. And then I said to him, look, why all I wanted for the most that would have settled this whole thing would have been maybe £5 to cover the cartridge, and that would have been it. And I said to him, why would I have gone through all this trouble to take photos of the item, go through all this bullshit with you, just to try and con you out of £5? It's not worth it. I told him he was an idiot, and I left it at that. And he didn't really have much to respond from that. He was an idiot. But funnily enough, about a few days later, I actually got a call from eBay, believe it or not. And the guy on the phone basically said to me, and I got to admit though, this is actually quite worrying now, because if this is something, I mean, it worked out for me, but if this is something eBay is doing, it makes me sort of think that the feedback is not very reliable. But what essentially happened was, eBay had contacted me. They realised that I'd left negative feedback on this guy, and they basically said, look, we'd be very happy to offer you a £20 voucher if we can remove your negative feedback. So I said, sure, yeah. I mean, at first, I told them what happened. They were fine with it, so it's no problems. But if we can remove your negative feedback, we'll give you a £20 voucher, which they did. And I agreed to, it was fine. They gave me the £20 voucher. I've since spent it on another game. But they essentially bribed me to remove my feedback. And while, of course, it worked out in my favour in the end, it does make me wonder now about the feedback on eBay. If this is what eBay is doing, contacting people that leave negative feedback, that's quite a bit suspect. But in any case, yeah, I ended up getting a £20 voucher, which is more than enough than what I wanted. So I never even had to get round to cover this, but the voucher basically pretty much covered this. So I essentially got this for free, and I've since used that money for something else. Like I say, I was going to make a separate video on this subject, but because I was really angry at the time, I was even going to call the seller out and put his name out there so people wouldn't buy from him. But because in essence eBay sorted it out, I'm not going to do that. But it just really pisses me off though, because I in turn have very high feedback. I've got, like, my feedback is at like over 400 plus transactions, and all of them are positive. So it was really, really annoying to have someone sort of talk to you like that, especially given the time that I've spent on eBay. And I've dealt with other issues on eBay before, but I've never had a seller come back at me and call you a liar and stuff. It was very insulting. But in any case, I'm happy. I've since got a replacement of the cartridge, so I'm very happy that I've got R-Type, because this is one of my favourite games that I played as a kid. So I'm very, very happy to add it to the collection. Moving on. Sorry about that rant, guys. Probably, what's it going on? Oof, going on 18 minutes now, so I'll try and speed this up a bit more. I've got 4 Super Nintendo games here, and I've actually got one big item current gen as well. So first game I've got here, this is a game that I actually bought as a loose cart not too long ago, but I've since decided, since I wanted to get all my games boxed, I eventually changed my mind and got this game boxed. It's quite an obscure game actually. It's not a game you see a lot, especially in boxed condition. And I was very, very lucky. I won an auction for quite cheap, and it ended up costing me £13, and it's fully boxed and complete. And that game is Legend. This is a 2D side-scrolling beat 'em up, and there's a little slight crush damage here, but it is in good condition, very good condition, and very, very happy to get this game, especially because it's hard enough. There's not many copies of this game boxed to complete, and to win it at that cheap price, I was very, very happy. Next game I've got here. This is one that I've never ever played before. It's definitely one that I've seen footage of in the past. Always wanted to get it. I initially wanted to get it as a loose cart before, but since I've started picking up box to complete games, I was very, very happy to get this, and it is in fantastic condition as well. It's fully complete. The game is Kid Clown in Crazy Chase, and it is in very nice, I'd say it's almost mint. It's in lovely condition, and it is fully complete. I mean, it's got the manual, the precautions leaflet, and also a poster. So very, very happy to get this, and it wasn't expensive either. It was £12, and it's a fun game. It's a sort of it's like you're sort of like a clown, and you're sort of running downhill. You're trying to basically get to the finish line. It's like you're sort of chasing after a bomb, and the fuse is sort of running down. You've got to beat the fuse, and as you're making your way down the hill, you have to avoid all these traps and obstacles. And it's a really fun game. It's very colourful, very whimsical type of game, and I'm very glad I got it, and I'm very happy I got it in this condition. So yeah, that's Kid Clown in Crazy Chase. And the next one here, this is a game I'm very happy to get. I've got a loose cart of this, and this is a game that it's just one of my favourites on the Super Nintendo. I absolutely love this game, and the game is Cybernator. It's in very nice condition. I'll just show you here. It's a very cool 2D side scroller where you're sort of in a big mech suit. Great action platform game. Highly recommended, and it wasn't too expensive. I got it for about it was about 26 quid. It's all complete, and it's in very nice condition. So I'm really, really happy, because this is one of my favourite games. So very happy to get this game. And lastly, for the Super Nintendo, I was very chuffed to get this game, because this game is very hard to get box to complete. There are quite a few copies on the European eBay sites, but I managed to get this from a UK site. It wasn't too expensive either, because when I have seen this on UK eBay, it goes for well over £100, and it's a game that I've got as a loose cart. It's a fantastic 2D side-scrolling action game, and the game is Skyblazer. This is a fantastic side-scrolling game, one of my favourites. I actually play this one quite a lot, and I was very happy to get it boxed to complete. I ended up spending 60 quid on this game, so it was very expensive, but it was much cheaper than the going rate for this game. And all the other condition games that I've seen of this have been in worse condition, and they actually go for around the same, probably even more money than this. So I was very, very happy to get it in this condition. As you can see, it is in very nice condition, and it's a great 2D side scroller. So really, really chuffed to get this one in the collection. And finally, guys, this is one game for the PlayStation 3. It's a special edition. It's one I've wanted for a long time, but I've debated about getting this, but it was too hard to resist. Normally, I've been put off by a lot of the special editions on the current gen systems. I'm just not very impressed with them. The ones that come with statues and stuff, they just don't look very good to me. They just look like they're made out of cheap plastic. Definitely not something that I'm very interested in, because they go for a lot of money. But this was definitely one that I had to get, because I mean, the game itself is great, but what it comes with, I'll just show you guys. The thing I've bought was the Metal Gear Rising limited edition, and this comes with a figurine of Raiden, an action figure, a tall one, that is developed, that's made by PlayArts. For those that don't know, PlayArts make very expensive but very well detailed action figures, mostly based around game characters. This was the European exclusive. I believe the US got a very different version to us. They didn't get the figure. They got was like a lamp. But this is in very nice condition. I'll just do a quick unboxing here. I'll just show you. Just take this off very briefly. If I just open this up. just to show you what the figure is like. Okay. Okay, so essentially I've got, this is where the game will be. The game, I've just got the game actually sitting here at the back. So you just got the game. Comes in the box like so. It's got some DLC for some from different skins. You've got the Cyborg Ninja Grey Fox, which I'm very happy to get because I love that character from the original Metal Gear Solid. And you've got the white suit, which is what this figurine is based on, which is like his alternate costume. And then you've got the figurine itself. And this is a very detailed, proper figure of Raiden. I mean, you can't really tell. But you can check out videos on this. You can check videos on this. There's loads of videos on YouTube about this figure. It's very, very detailed. It's very big. You've got the sword. It comes with a stand. You can pose him in different ways. I mean, I'm not into collecting figures, but it is something that I have been interested in doing in the past, but it's very expensive to do, so I've never really sort of splashed out on any figures. This is probably the most expensive figure I have, and it was nice to get it in the bundle. When this came out, it retailed for £100, but I got this for just under £80, which I definitely think is worth it because this figure alone goes for around, I mean, the normal black edition goes for around £70 now. So, you know, and it started off around 50. When they first come out, they generally go for around £50, but the value on these increase a lot very quickly. So it was definitely worth it because it worked out to the game roughly about £20, or £20–30, and I'd probably say 50 quid for this. So really, really happy to get this as well. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry the video was longer than usual, but it's the rant. I had to get it out there. I will be back very soon. My next video will definitely be a Super Nintendo collection video, so watch out for that one. It'll be coming very, very soon. And I will have another pickups video coming soon, as I've got a few more current gen games coming, as well as some Super Famicom games as well. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Again, if you really like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It does help me a lot. And please comment below, tell me what you think. And yeah, so that's it, guys. Stay tuned for my Super Nintendo collection video coming very, very soon. And I'll be back. Bye bye.